the thing also though, that one place people get trapped in, like the empathy, like how much do I, is in terms of love. I think there's like a, there's a, maybe a polarity again, but there's kind of like classically what you see as love, which is like empathy and like being able to listen and see and give space. But equally, what's love for me is being able to say no in a way that's clear, or to not to set the right standard of like what should be, or what you need in connection. And there's something that's often, even when I say it now, like we don't often think of like artful connection as setting a standard or like having, but actually I think it's just actually naturally happening. That's why we get upset with our partner if they suddenly lash out on us, or they're not sharing what's really going on for them. That's our standard coming up. Like, but actually for someone who's really in one of these difficult patterns, if you set boundaries with them, it's actually more powerful sometimes than empathy. Like if everyone around them was just very good at setting boundaries, that would be more healing, I imagine, than any kind of like getting kind of trapped into listening to something that doesn't really resonate for you, or yeah, and losing your kind of truer autonomy. I mean, that's a big part of circling, this idea of trusting your experience, tuning into that subtle sense in us of where we really want to be. And if you find yourself in a certain relationship continually like staying longer than you want to, going to that event that you didn't really want to go to, or taking that call that you were a little bit like, oh, I don't really want to take this right now. But every time you do that, there's actually a deep cost for you and the connection. And so, and you never actually help the connection that way as well. So I think this is really powerful in connection, to own both sides. Like, and yeah, your empathy isn't really real if you can't also say no to the same level. But at the same time, your no is not powerful if it's only coming from a defense, and you can't really empathize with those that you're saying no with too. Yeah, these are things that we get to practice in real time in circling, which is a lot different to theory.
Yeah, I think this is an important point that you're bringing up about love. And it's like, it's embracing the other, but it's also embracing yourself. And it's honoring the other, it's also honoring yourself, and knowing where to set that boundary, and knowing that you can set that boundary and you can make that choice of who you want to be around. It's like you get like, I have this thing where it's like, I try to love everybody because to me, on the deepest level, love is like that. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't discern. It just loves. But there is this aspect, this discerning aspect of like, I like being around certain energies. I like being around certain people, and kind of, I'm moving through space and time where I can't hang out with everybody and be with everybody. Right. So I kind of discern and make a choice of who I want to be around more, who I want to be around less, and where I have to set those boundaries. But I try as much as I can to love everybody. And that to me is not in conflict. Like those two things are not in conflict.
Well, when I look at this, like more closely, like if you think like love seems to be our word pointing to this way that we want to come together. And it's like you want to hold or be close. And so when we think of that, we're like, oh yeah, love is this, like, it's this closeness. But actually, if you think of it, like if the universe has this capacity to wants to attract things together, like, well, why are we not also then getting attracted to a lamppost or a dog or like a tree, or like in the same way as we do a human being? So there's actually a force in love. not only is it bringing us together, but why that there are some people we even like want to get away from. But that's actually love, I think, telling us like it's got this inner wisdom, or it's like bringing things together, but it's probably telling us more what to get away from than it is telling us what to get close to. And it's fierce about that, like absolutely fierce. You'll feel it in your body. It will tell you to get totally away from some things, and yet so much attraction to other beings. And so love is scarily fierce, and most people in your life you'll never get any attraction to. You walk past thousands of people every year that you have no instinct to get closer to, not in a deep way. But yeah, I think embracing the truth of love is very important.
Yeah, that's a very like deep and nuanced understanding of love, and it almost seems like love is infinite. Like there's an infinite depth to it, and you could always understand it on a deeper level. And I like this aspect that you're bringing out.